everybody. It's Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today I'm going to guide you through this fabulous creative arts collaboration hashtag event. I'm calling this Hope's Swing. So hopefully you can see her. I'm really in love with this painting, so I'm so excited to be sharing it with you today. We're going to be painting it on a 16 by 20 canvas with acrylic paint. And listen, you found this video if you're first time here. If you're live, you've probably seen this before. But if you're first time here, you might not know that you've stumbled into a video art festival. And if you were to put hashtag color of the year art into that search bar, you would find tons of amazing art and craft videos, all featuring Pantone's colors of the year, Rose Quartz and Serenity. And moms out there already know that this is the color of Steven Universe's mom.
Oh.
Yeah. So I guess Steven Universe knew this already. There's a place, Pantone, if you don't know, and they decide the colors every year. So if you're seeing that green everywhere, it's Pantone that did it. Did you know that, John?
I did not.
On the mic today is my husband, John, and he follows me with the cameras and makes sure the sound works and reads the comments.
Okay, that's a big claim. I attempt to push some buttons and sometimes stuff works. But that's as close as we get.
Also, in the iCard is the playlist for Love Summer Art and Angela Anderson's video, which is going to be live tomorrow at 1:30 Central.
Yes.
So you can be ready for that. That's going to match this because she and I both had the cherry blossom feeling at the same time, and we thought we ought to just partner up and do that and, have some fun with that today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a big day. My mom's live later today.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Like 1:30 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
So, Ginger Cook Live there. So, there's a lot going on. If you look down in the description, I like to hide the materials I use. And I don't know if you have it ready to pull up, traceables.
Oh, yeah. I don't have them up here, but I'll have them up here a little bit later.
Okay.
We were getting a little late today. So
it was a crazy day. We had to go get my daughter from school. She's feeling a little under the weather, so we went and grabbed her. Mm-hmm. So down there is traceables and a full page, a full painting. So you can go to that and you can print out the finished painting when you follow along. And listen, drawing is not the same thing as being artistic or creative. Drawing is a skill that you develop over time with hard work. If you don't have that skill yet, no big deal. That's what traceables are for. There's a fantastic bunch of resources on the Frugal Crafters YouTube channel about how to transfer an image from a piece of paper to a canvas.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty much all of her watercolor tutorials demo that, which is why I've been so lazy and haven't done one. But I will do one. But it's basically the same process of carbon paper and tracing it on. Though with acrylic paint, I would have some extra tips. All right, so we're going to be doing that today. The palette is also in the description, but just to cover it, a couple of things about today's materials. Because you guys ask questions. You're like, what is the difference between fluid, soft body, heavy body? Okay. So what it is some companies will call themselves fluid acrylics, right? I've got a $1 bottle of fluid acrylic here, and I think this is an $8 bottle of golden fluid acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
These are both fluid acrylics. What this means is they don't have the polymers and binders in them to build up the body of the paint. They're self-leveling. They flow off the brush. Sometimes doing branches or fine detail work, it can be nice to switch to a fluid paint. And so I have a fluid paint, a soft body paint in both black. This happens to be carbon black, but it comes in all the blacks. And this is titanium white. And so you can get all the way from golden, which is a really high pigment load, to a beautiful bind, to Artist Loft, which will get you through. And I used Artist Loft in the test painting.
Oh, yeah?
And enjoyed it just fine. $1. All I'm saying. All the companies have a soft body. So if you see the word soft body or fluid, they mean the same thing. Just to say crazy materials, I am using ultramarine. I'm going to go pat cam, baby.
Oh.
I'm going to be using ultramarine today, which we really haven't done. And I'm going to be using titanium white, quinacridone magenta, and cad yellow medium. You can save money by using hue in the cad yellow. Just so you guys know, cad red and phthalo blue, if you haven't done the color chart with us, will not be a good exchange for this. You would definitely want to do a crimson if you were doing a phthalo, like a naphthol crimson or a alizarin crimson. Or if you've got the ultramarine, you can do any of the magentas. But these two make really a little white with ultramarine, makes Serenity, and a little white with quinacridone makes a pretty darn good rose quartz.
Huh.
So go figure that.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's some other really good painting tutorials today, so you guys can have a whole bunch of this up in your house.
Well, you're going to be surprised because we had a lot. We have a couple people who showed up for this one.
Who did show up for this one?
I don't know, but there's about 134, 135, 235 people. Sorry, there's 235 people.
235 people. Everybody on the RSVP were like, I'm at work. Did you guys stay home from work?
Well, you know what was funny is so I'm sitting here and I'm just sort of in awe.
Me too.
I was kind of letting you go through this because I'm just going through here and I was gathering up comments. You know, some of the wishes that are coming in here. We got a lot of really great wishes.
I'm so excited for the wishes. I have 2 wishes of my own. I'm so excited for everybody else's wishes.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear some wishes. We love to put wishes on the canvas. And listen, if you do some wishing on your canvas, do it in chalk or watercolor pencil so it vanishes into the paint. If you were to do it in pen or graphite pencil, it would stain through your acrylic paint. Just a little tip.
Yeah.
And if you need to do a wish that's very personal and important, you can always write it on the back of the stretcher bars, which I think when you give as a gift is a really special thing to do. Just my word thought on that. What wishes do we have today,
so
Mr. Cooney?
We're going to go through some of those here real quick, but I'm going to give a quick shout out because we had to Danielle of Trade Chat.
Hi, Danielle of Trade Chat.
And so I think that this is a friend of Flame's that she met who is a YouTuber who does video game vlogging and is a fan of yours.
Awesome.
But apparently she's never awake during the time that we broadcast being a gamer.
I feel like there's a great possible collaboration between art and the video game vloggers. John's heard me rant on this before, that I think that we're missing opportunities here.
I have a ton of MechWarrior stuff.
Yeah, we're like, woohoo!
So, but I thought that was really cool. And I mean, like, I'm going to real quick say thanks to all of our moderators who are just manning the room, you know, Bonnie, Mona, Kim's, Jane's, they're all out there.
Do you know this is Mona's first CAC event?
I did not.
I think Stephanie's too.
Wow.
And Jane Font's. We've had a lot of first-time CAC events for this one because they're liking it.
Wow.
Sorry.
Well, so I see Maricha out there too. We got a lot.
Maricha!
So, you know, I have to say thanks.
Skype girl.
Yeah. I have to say thanks to all those guys who are helping us with the moderation of the channel. We really appreciate you guys helping me get those questions and any of the ones that we might miss.
And you keep it so nice in here. It stays so friendly. I love our chats. I love our chats. You from gaming, you're going to be like, what's with this live chat? It's so friendly. Yeah, it is over here. It's really cool.
So, yeah.
Wishes!
We've got a bunch of wishes. So I'm going to start jamming through these wishes. So you ready? Okay.
I'm going to take it in because I think this is the perfect painting. Hope Swing is the perfect painting for wishes.
It is. Okay. Right. So we have a wish for Dusty's, for a wish for student teacher's first year. And that's a wish for Dusty for student teacher's first year.
She's doing her first year as a student teacher?
I'm not sure. You know, because sometimes the wishes,
you're so funny.
A lot of times wishes come in, and you know that I don't get all of the wish. It'll be repeated.
Well, I have any wish for Dusty that she wants. She's such a good artist. I think she did some color of the year too.
Well, now we have a wish for Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah, we want to. Her fibromyalgia is acting up today.
I really wish, Ashley, for you to have a relief from your fibromyalgia, relief from pain, and
she just said fibro. I assumed so.
Yeah,
so
but I want you to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like yourself. That's what I wish, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Feel like yourself, Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
How you want to be feeling.
And you know, there was a wish for Honey to get feeling better.
Oh, thank you. Yes, she wants to.
As well.
There's a little head cold.
Yep, and Anita.
Mom's got it. Mom doesn't get to come home from school.
and I want to add also Anita and Joe to get to feel better. We're going to sell in some well wishes for them.
Feeling better. Isn't that one of those important wishes? Feeling better.
Yeah, and it was really nice. So Official Panda was asking what wishes he could put on his canvas.
You can push any wish you want, sweetie. It's up to you. It can be silly or complicated. They can be deeply meaningful or lighthearted. You just put your energy into your canvas.
Let me clarify that. Pete was out there offering to put wishes in his canvas. Oh. He was out there. He was saying, hey, what can I do to help you guys?
Pete. Yes. You guys can, if you see wishes in the chat and they speak to you and we don't get them into the canvas, then you can absolutely take someone else's wish and put that good energy out there. Because you know what? I think it works.
Yeah. Oh, he helped me catch a wish for Chelsea's. Let's see here. Her grandpa has cancer, and it's his third type of cancer.
Oh.
So he is fighting, and he's not going to break, and the whole
I'm
family
gonna
is wishing
him
rally
strength
round.
and well-being.
Absolutely. So.
I have a wish for a friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my friend Melody Lane, she has a crafting channel on the Cricut. I don't know if y'all have ever had to deal with the Cricut. It's a very complicated machine. And she, like Ian, really tries to make that Cricut easy for people to use. She's made like the definitive, not sponsored either. She just does this.
I have a Cricut. I call it Jaws.
He does. He calls it Jaws. And we have a bunch of her YouTube friends. You know how when your friends all get something and you're like, wait, where am I? Where am I? We've all gotten YouTube consultants. And so we're wishing for Melody that she gets her YouTube consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's time for her to, with the YouTube gives you a fairy godmother or godfather.
Yes.
At some point, mysteriously, for reasons nobody can figure out.
Nope. Well, send that wish out there. That's a good one for her.
You know, like I said, not all wishes have to be serious, but I think Melody would love it. And she's one of the hardest working people on YouTube. So I'm going to wish her fairy YouTube godmother. And then I have a wish for myself. I'm so in love with this painting, I would love to see it go viral.
Oh, yes.
I would love to see this painting go viral.
And
It's like one of my favorite.
Well, and a lot of our community is wishing for good intertubes.
I wish for good intertubes. And I wish for good health and love and happiness for our community.
Yeah. All of our tubes are clear so the broadcast goes well.
And safe travel because there's storms.
Yep. Oh, and there's just a ton of wishes flooding in because we have so many people with us. But the last thing I'll do is I've noticed we had a lot of wishes for jobs and employment. So I'm going to throw that out there.
Let's wish for a wave of jobs and employment.
Yes.
Because that can happen. That's so important.
It's funny. There's another one I read that someone got a fixer-upper of a boyfriend. It was actually the boyfriend and her got a fixer of a house.
Oh, okay. Fixer-upper of a boyfriend. I don't really know what the wish is going to go from there, but okay.
It's just one of those ones that catches your eyes as you're going by. So we'll throw that one in there.
The
as well.
boyfriend needs the fixing up or the house.
We gotta. It looks like they got a house as a fixer-upper, so
I'm gonna wish you.
We wish that couple
happy, easy repairs.
Yeah.
And good joy in your house. and you know, if you need some work on the boyfriend, I don't know. Not as helpful with spackle.
Yeah, I think it was a new house, and not a new boyfriend. So.
New house. Her wishes are so silly.
But for those of you who have some fixer-uppers of your own, for all the types of fixer-uppers, we wish you well and luck.
I'm gonna put my paint out, John. So I have my ultramarine blue right here, and I guess I could put out a little more than this because I know I'm doing my background.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you did the quest with me and you made your color chart and you had any quinacridone in there, you learned that quinacridone mixes some amazing colors that you love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, happy birthday, Tiara.
Happy birthday, Tiara!
I'm going to throw that in there. I saw that come by, so I'm going to get that out. Sorry.
No,
But
that's
yes,
okay.
You were talking about Passamaquoddy pink.
Passamaquoddy pink. So, yeah, it makes a really fantastic color with the ultramarine blue. That was something I discovered I could use it for the colors of the year when we did the chart.
It's true you did.
I've got lots of water out, and I'm going to grab a nice, fairly big-sized brush.
Your daughter drug all the big brushes over here.
She did? Oh, the giant. Well, I don't need those brushes. I'm going to get some natural bristles. We're going to be meeting up tomorrow to talk about brushes if you're doing the quest.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be good. I'm making sure that this is doing okay.
I'm so excited about the quest stuff.
You are?
Yes. We found a WordPress hero.
We did?
We did.
Oh.
So it's awesome. So
is it Maricha?
Yes, Maricha and a cohort of assistants who are going to solve all of the programming woes that we were having in getting all of the user synchronization happening.
So I'm going to talk about what I'm doing here. I'm pulling a little bit out. You can kind of see that just on the tip of my brush and mixing in a little bit to the ultramarine blue. I'm going to grab a little white. See what a beautiful color that gives me? And I'm going to come right here on this corner, and I'm going to paint this in. And I don't like this big brush, John. So
Oh,
you
yeah?
know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to drop it.
You are?
And I'm going to switch to my favorite brush.
Drop the brush.
I'm going to drop that brush. It's been dumped.
You're
And I'm
gonna
going
get
to
the
get my
1 inch-
Simply
The
Simmons
1
out.
inch, that 1 inch Simply Simmons
I
brush.
am so in love with this. Listen, rep from Simply Simmons. I can't find this one in stores. Could you send me about 10 of these? She doesn't watch. But you never know. That would be the one day. This one right here.
That one right there.
This one right
Roll
here.
it over so we can see it.
It's a number 10, right? Simply Simmons, bright.
I would say send us 10 of those, but the first one has not worn out.
Yeah, no, I'd still want 10 because I give giveaways.
That's true.
I would do giveaways of this brush.
But you haven't killed that one, so it's
I
not
have
like-
not, which is, I do the wrong. I'm going to tell you how not to take care of a brush like me tomorrow.
Yeah.
The whole class is going to be like, don't be like me.
And by her taking care of brushes, what she means is she leaves them in water until I come clean up the room.
I clean my own brushes. You've never cleaned a brush. Don't even play. But I do leave them in water for a long time.
I have footage.
Of me leaving brushes in water? Well, that's totally true. I'm going to get a little... I'm just moistening my brush to warm it up. Add a little quinacridone. This is how I'm getting this fabulous purple. And this corner here, this wonderful, yummy, great corner here, right? I'm going to darken with this. I'm going to come down the side a little bit. This is just super fun for me. This whole color palette, this whole painting is super fun for me. I really like this brush. I buy cheap canvases from Michaels and Hobby Lobby, whatever's the most on sale in these little packs. And very often, yes, they're pre-gessoed, and I don't have to gesso them again. They're prepped for painting. But I find sometimes that the coating is questionable.
Ah.
It just doesn't give me, you know, a great, wonderful response. And, you know,
We have so many people with us today.
this brush does good. How many people do we have,
Well,
Joan?
there's 240 people, but I was just noticing the CACs come out to join us.
Oh, I
Lindsay's
love the
out
CAC.
here.
Who's here?
Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Yeah, and I see you. Of course, you.
Did anybody see Lindsay being all famous on Video Creators yesterday?
Oh, that was so cool.
That just tripped me out. I'm like, I YouTube know her. I YouTube know her. John was just laughing at me. I'm like in the chat being a goof. Lindsay has a vest. Steve Ramsey forever. I don't care who you other people are at all.
Actually, I was. I thought I thought everything that she had to say was on point.
John did. As a biz dev guy, he thought everything Lindsay had to say was on point. I'm pulling a little ultramarine out. You can see the bead I'm pulling, and I'm mixing in some white into that.
Yep.
And I'm going to come right here. While this is wet, I can easily blend this edge.
Oh.
The only time it gets really hard to blend.
You have to zoom in on that.
Can I?
You're all wide on that
I'm
shot.
all wide. Why you left me where you left me? Nausea cam.
It is fuzzy purple cam today.
Fuzzy purple cam? Is his color not balanced?
No, ish.
Ish.
They're
Ish.
as close as I can get with the given equipment I have.
Yeah.
I'm working
So
it out.
I'm adding white into my ultramarine blue. And one of the other things that I can do to get a nice blended edge here, soft edge, is I soften my brush pressure. I know I say that in like all the time about this brush pressure, but painting, so much of it is brush pressure. Now this brush is, if you were painting with a really soft brush, you could not get this result. I don't know if I have a soft enough brush. This is pretty soft right here. This is a very soft brush. I could put makeup on with this brush, and it would be harder. Let's see if I can show it. It would be harder for me. See how it skips over the canvas?
You have to go down a little bit and then
Okay.
close-up camera.
Okay.
Just do it as you tilted it.
Okay, there you go. All right. So see how even though I'm working it, it isn't covering the canvas?
Yeah.
Notice that. That could be happening to you at home.
How
You
could
know what happened?
No.
You picked a lovely soft brush that felt so lovely to your hands.
Oh, but it doesn't hold any paint.
It doesn't hold any paint.
Oh. You should adjust your mic. You pull up that. Oh my gosh, there you go.
How's that?
I think that'll be a lot better.
So I'm just saying that's just something that I noticed. We're going to talk about it again tomorrow, but you know, that would just be a thing that could happen to you, because when I come in here with this brush, look at it, hold the paint and work it in the canvas and give me a blend. You'd think the soft brushes would do that. But it's this one, and this is why this is becoming my brush. It's my brush buddy. I'm actually taking good care of this one. I wash it out correctly. So sad how I take care of my brushes. Tomorrow's whole thing will be like, don't be like me. Don't leave them in water. Bristles down. Don't let them dry out for days. Don't. Just the fact that the brush company knew I was coming and tried to make adjustments. So even though this is sort of drying here, because of these bristles, I'm able to feather this edge.
Yeah.
And I love that about this so much. And I'm just going to keep adding some white into this ultramarine. All right. And
Yep.
keep adding some white.
So
Keep adding some white.
So in here, well, I'm gonna let while you're talking about that, Bert in the channel was just asking what happens to all the paintings that you're working on.
Oh, well, they hoard up.
They hoard up.
They hoard. They're stacked. It does. It's a hoard. We walk through stacks and stacks and aisles of paintings around here. No,
That's not true. I have them all stored.
they're stored correctly. John had to learn how to store acrylic paintings correctly. He did run. I had a daily painting going for a while, and he stored all those wrong, and they all stuck together.
Yeah, we learned.
That was upsetting.
So we built a closet that has all the proper storage, just shelving that's designed to hold 16 by 20 canvases, and
Yeah.
all on a little shelves to hold them.
Temperature controlled. Acrylic paint is very sensitive to heat.
So all the paintings that have been done here on the show are being held in a collection, so that. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to show that bead on that brush. You guys ask about the load a lot, and that's, see, I don't take my paint all the way to this ferrule here.
Yeah.
I keep it on the bead on the tip. Just something you might not know.
Yeah. And so everyone's asking, what I do with them, what I'm storing with them. So they're stored on the long edge, stored vertically, and I generally either store them with a separation sheet between them, or I store them front to back with a little space between them, so that they're they're not going to stick.
Yeah. If acrylic paint touches acrylic paint and it's not ice cold, it's going to bond together and stick together.
Yeah. So we make sure that they're spaced and they've got that they're set up inside there. And then next time we have a big Sherpa event, we're going to try to bring them all out there and then have them on display so everyone can come see them.
Yeah. I do have all the designs and stuff, though. There's a lot. It's getting to be a thing. And I'm not really moving my fine art right now either, so there's a storage problem.
Yeah, and we have a record number of people watching, 255 people with us today.
Hello, 255 people.
That's really awesome.
I wanted to tell the 255 people, as I'm coming down here, I'm just adding white. You'll notice I'm not really rinsing the blue out of my brush.
Mm-hmm.
It takes so little blue to dust up this color. I'm going to come back to do my little moon effect here in just a second. And I really cannot stress to you how much this brush is helping me out. So just in case you're not going to watch the Big Art Quest and you're not doing that, my first tip, and we're going to talk about it again tomorrow, when you're buying an acrylic brush, when you feel it, you should think to yourself, I would never, ever want to put my makeup on with that.
Yeah.
It should be stiff. Now, it shouldn't be ready to take off rust. You shouldn't think, and I could loan it to my husband to clean the rust off that motorcycle. That would be too stiff.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Three Bears sort of event.
Yeah. No, everyone.
This brush is just right. This is my just right. I'm going to call this the Goldilocks. I just want Simply Simmons to send me tons of. I went and looked at you saw me looking through the display case.
Yeah.
And they had 10 brights, but it wasn't this 10 bright.
Yep.
Explain that to me. This one my mom got it from the rep.
Ah.
I've added a little more ultramarine blue right here.
Yep.
And I'm just working that in. And now I'm going to kind of put a little more water on my brush and squeeze it out, but not really effectively rinse it out, because I want just a tone of the ultramarine on my brush. And I'm going to load a little bit of the quinac magenta. See, and it takes, again, very little quinacridone to tint the paint. And I'm going to come along here on this edge. Light pressure, getting that beautiful feathered blend. That's how I'm getting it. This is like, we've talked about this since the beginning. How lightly would you paint a wet, angry kitty? Very lightly. You'd be gentle.
Laura's like, do you have an Etsy store? She'll help you with that storage problem.
She'll help me with the what?
The storage problem.
I do have an Etsy store, and there's a few pieces up there right now from the fine art collection.
Where did you get your bracelet?
My bracelet was from my very good friend, Natasha Storfer.
She was a gift. It
was a gift.
That's a regular question. Every time you wear that on the show,
I
everyone's
know.
like, where'd you get that?
And every time I see her, I'm like, thank you for my bracelet, Tasha.
It's so awesome.
You know how you have that friend that knows you so well that they get you that exact right thing?
Yes.
She's that friend. Her daughter and my daughter were like best friends as babies. They'd be in the stroller holding hands. They'd get their little chubby hands out and hold hands.
Oh, yep.
They so get each other.
Talk about just your two kids that have complete forgiveness for each other and couldn't be more different.
Yeah, totally different girls.
Yeah.
Night and day. And yet they totally accept each other. It's a life lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Right in there somewhere, isn't there?
Yep.
And I'm just pulling this white into my quinacridone. But I haven't rinsed the blue out, so every once in a while that blue will tint this color.
Makes that pink pop.
And it makes that pink pop, and I just love it. I just love it. I love it so much. I'm enjoying putting this down here. Now remember, you can paint around the edges, which I'm not going to do, but you could. And if your canvas has if your easel has a really big lip, you can flip it over. I'm going to even pick up just a dusting. See how I just dusted it with the blue? Just so I'm toning my magenta here.
And this is a really great painting for someone who's not confident in their painting skills to try, huh?
Yes, this is a very good painting if you're not confident in your painting skills to try. You know, take advantage of our traceables if you're not confident in your drawing yet. Definitely go watch Lindsay's tutorial on how to transfer an image onto a canvas. And I'm going to use that for so long to not have to make that tutorial. Yeah. It's so weird. You get that like that as a YouTuber, especially if you have friends that have made videos where you're like, yeah, my friend made that. It's pretty good. You go see that.
Yeah. And the great thing is that we can just generally say, you know, Lindsay's made a video on that. And we don't really have to go check. There's just a fairly good chance in 1,200 videos that she's done it.
Between everyone I know somebody. It's really literally at the point, I know somebody who's made a video on that.
Yeah, it's funny. On a couple occasions, I blindly referred people to Lindsay, and they've not. I don't know how you'd find it. You couldn't go through all the videos to find everything that she's done.
Well, they have a search on it.
Oh, I know, but it's still, she's just so many projects.
It is so true. And you know who else? Like on a silhouette painting, I would have to say to you guys, if you like doing silhouettes, you've got to check out Silver Creek Studios.
Oh, yeah.
Because Leanne has a bunch of wonderful silhouette videos.
Yep.
I'm going to pull a little more quinacridone onto my brush. And I could be through this background if I switched to a bigger brush, but I just like this brush so much and the other one was annoying me. And that happens. John's seen that happen. And I just want a more vibrant pink down here that I'm blending in. Now, some of how I get this blend is I go really fast. But listen, if you were doing this with soft-bodied paints or craft paints, you would probably still see this wet because that takes a little longer to dry.
Yeah. Oh, Lindsay brought up a good point. She said that it's much easier to find the content on her website because it's better curated.
You have a really good website, which I'm starting to envy.
Yeah, and we're just
especially with all my website troubles lately.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's true. And I imagine once we have our website fully running, you'll be able to find the stuff easier there as well. So.
Yeah, we're gonna model after that and be like, I would like a very good website too. Crafty Chica has a good one. I've been noticing the good websites lately.
Yes, you should go by and check out Lindsay's very well constructed website.
And blog.
And blog, yeah, that's right.
And sometimes you get what's happening up ahead. This is we're so weird. This is how badly we are not making a how to trace video, I guess.
Yeah.
Go there. It's there. I promise you.
Now, but this is a really easy painting to tackle, though.
This is such an easy painting to tackle. This is such a fun painting to tackle. There really isn't a combo of blue, white, pink, and purple that you're not going to like.
And so, what would you say the key to getting a nice background here is going to be?
I think the key is going to be having a brush that you really like, trying to work wet into wet if you can. And when you're merging, when you're blending these edges, let's see if we've got one here we can show. When you're blending these edges, really try to lighten up that brush stroke.
Gotcha.
Right? So that you get a nice soft edge. So even if it's dry, your dry brush creates a soft edge.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, another thing that I'm kind of naturally doing that I can talk about is that, not that any of this is secret and I couldn't talk about it, is that I kind of, if you'll notice, I don't know if it shows on the camera where I randomize my brush stroke.
Yeah, that we can kind of see that there.
So somebody new might be like inclined to make a pattern. I don't worry about that too much because I find that still works out for them. So to me, as long as you're still going to get a gorgeous painting that you like, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And who is not thrilled with rose quartz and serenity as colors of the year?
Yeah.
Right? Those are just like the best colors of the year. I might dust up my brush with just the smidgiest of the ultramarine.
No.
Sometimes I try to do that too, where I want it to feel dusty. I will make sure I go back to other previous blends that I have in my sky or my atmosphere.
Yeah.
I just dipped my brush a little bit in water because I was having problems with the flow of my paint, which means I was painting and nothing was happening.
Now, what consistency of paint should they be looking for here? If they're
Your acrylic paint should come out like warm butter.
Okay.
Right? If you get a soft body paint or a fluid paint, it's going to be like a kind of beautiful fluid oil.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a nice buttery paint when you're painting and your brush is not dry, like I'll just dampen it, it should flow. You don't want bubbles, like I have too much water there. It should just flow off your brush onto the canvas, covering it easily. If you're working hard and the canvas isn't painting, you have underloaded your brush or your brush is too dry.
You've used olive oil as a consistency before.
I like olive oil
that
as a consistency this is literally how I'd feel like it would be like to oil the canvas.
Okay.
Isn't that gorge?
That is.
I love that background. It just feels like a dream.
So if we're watching, like I know a lot of people were watching along, just not sure if they're going to paint for that first time.
Oh.
And looking at this one though, I mean, like the background seems really simple, really easy to go over because it's just, and it's a silhouette.
Right.
So
it's very, again, you can trace this on really easily, and then it's just filling it in, right?
Okay, yeah.
And so getting this kind of background, this is a fun effect that anybody can get. And then if you're pulling the silhouette in, and even this moon, which I'm about to put over here, that's actually not that hard.
So this is really doable for anybody.
This is really doable for anybody.
So yeah, so you can really feel confident that you can do this.
I feel like you can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show it right here. Did you see how I kind of just tipped the angle of my brush? Is it showing where just the blue?
You can just see it just a little tiny. You can pull it up closer to the camera on the big one if you want, of the close up.
Close up. No, I can't.
Up, there you go. Up, yeah, you just touch.
What? This is like a game
there
we play.
There. See, you did it.
Do the graveyard girl. I literally owe that girl so much for that because I learned to put my hand behind the brush from her. I'm like, I can't make anything show. I watched her and I was like, oh, that's how you YouTube do it. So right here, if I imagine that I bisected my canvas into thirds, I'm going to put my moon focal right here. This is called the upper thirds. Whenever you put an element of interest, right, into your thirds, you create a little drama. And what do we like in paintings? A little drama. We don't want it in our lives.
We try to keep the drama on the canvas.
We want the drama on the canvas. So what I've got here is I'm painting my little moon in.
You can center that up on the close-up.
Yeah, let's get that on the up-close camera.
Like
right there, that's already pretty moon. I could just leave it like that and be done.
Actually, you're right. That's actually really...
really wonderful and could be done. It's just crazy how easy and just like, but I like the moon where I can see the little, I liked my moon, so I'm going to stick with it because I really liked it.
Yeah.
So now my titanium white, though it's quite pigmented, is still showing a little bit of the canvas underneath. I've toned the paint back, right, from that bright, crazy white
Yeah.
to with the blue a little bit. So it's just a little bit off. And now I'm going to pick up, was real fun for me. I'm going to pick up a little pink on my brush.
Uh-huh.
You can see the dust here,
Yeah.
just on the tip. I'm going to still add some white to it because I don't want it to be too crazy. And just along this bottom edge of the moon here, I'm going to kind of add that pink. I'm going to shade it. Can you see that, John?
I can. Oh my gosh, yeah, you can. It really did just pop that out.
Yeah, it just pops that out.
Ah.
And
So
I'm going to feather this in, which means I have a very light brush stroke, short little strokes. I'm pulling this in,
uh-huh.
right? Still tipped. I'm going to come over and, I've got that lovely kind of blue purple that I made, right? Let me see that there is now tipped on
Yeah.
the brush. I'm going to put in some of the little moon tones. And so I'm on the corner of my brush, and I'm softly dabbing. Just softly dabbing. It's so relaxing to do this. I might need a little more blue. I feel like that's a very pink crater. Coming here. And see the way that the paint has been streaky, and then when I add this to it,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it creates like a really wonderful moon texture.
It really does.
Little tip, if you have a guy in your life and he's really into space, you better look at a picture of a moon. Or girl, whoever it is that you have that's really into space, because they'll tell you that you have not gotten the craters correct. But if you don't, just make yourself happy.
So let me ask you a couple quick questions here. So I know that when you were painting the background, you were dipping your brush in water to get some of that.
You know what? Yeah, I could buy, I do, to improve the
Okay.
flow.
Yeah, you were just grabbing just to get some flow on there.
Just to get some flow in there. So here's what I'll say. I could buy an $18 jar of Flow Aid
Yeah.
that's a medium that's going to protect my acrylic paint into the future and make it last longer and give it greater longevity and protect the polymers. Or I can use the completely free fluid agent from my tap.
Which is also good.
And since I want to buy more colors of paint, I'm probably going to use the water agent first and get that extra color. Now, if I have everything I could possibly want and I'm starting to show and exhibit, I absolutely would get some airbrush medium, some wet palette spray, all the different, some slow dries, any of those things. We're going to talk about them in Quest, but,
Now, Kelly was asking if she needed to gesso her canvas every time. Or just, she needed a tip on whether or not it was necessary to gesso every time.
So if they're pre-coated, they are not necessary to gesso. However, company by company it is. If you're just really having a terrible time with a line of canvases, but it's the one in your budget, go ahead and improve them with a little gesso.
Yeah.
Just rounding out my little moon here.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, just giving it a little, check your stuff. Be like, you could be a little rounder. Isn't that lovely?
That is. I like that.
You'll know your acrylic paint is drying when it gets flat.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because that matte color.
Yep. All acrylic paint should, in general, unless it says gloss on the bottle, dry to a matte. And there is actually a reason for that.
Now, let's see. You have any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to do the soft body fluid and put it out.
Oh, okay. Well, Flame was suggesting that we put together a FAQ. And I know that we were talking about doing a video FAQ and here pretty quick. So that'll be something we should
Think about.
Yeah.
Think about it. That's a very good thing to think about. Now, I'm going to, definitely need to. Susie's working on that, isn't she?
I think we're going to start working on that.
We're
here
working.
next-
I have people who are organized who are helping me. Like, oh gosh, girl, you need some help. And I'm like, I do. I'm going to take a branch, and it's going to travel sort of down and under my moon a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give myself a little guideline with my watercolor pencil. You could do colored chalk. Right? I just want to have that sort of centered in my head. And that is where my branch is going to come down and be. And I'm going to get a really good bright. And I like a really good bright. You could do a really good angle brush.
Yeah.
I've got this nice bright that I'm so fond of from Pro Stroke by Creative Mark. And I'm going to put out and you can kind of see the difference. See how this has a lot of body to it, and this sort of goes flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fluid paint.
Now on that Simply Simmons, does it have a serial number on that number 10?
It does.
I'm gonna grab that here. And
okay. And it has a QR code.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the description.
Which was not helpful when I was at Texas Art. They're looking at me like, all right.
Yeah, so someone was asking for it, so we'll put it in the description here below after the video's over.
I would be happy to. And if you find how to get it, please share with me, because that's all I want in the universe is more of those.
So there's there's 280 people out here with us right now.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
That's crazy. So what I've done here is I press harder at the beginning of my stroke and I get lighter at the tip. If your brush is not completely sharp, you may have to switch to, see this is called a detail round.
And that's just a round.
Yeah, and it comes to a point, right? So like say I'm right here. See that? And it'll give me that nice little detail point.
Oh, more control, huh?
More control. And you might need it. I do. So don't feel bashed. And how I get my brush strokes thinner, if I press hard, they're thick. And if I press light, they get thinner.
Ah.
See? So that's how I'm doing it. And I'm resting my hand on the canvas, and that's creating a bridge. You can pre-sketch anything in with chalk or your watercolor pencil if you're not really sure where you want it. And for silhouette painting, that can be nice because the black paint can feel intimidating, but actually it's your friend. Because silhouettes are very forgiving. They just are. Branches should be thicker the closer they are to the tree, and then they get thinner and thinner and thinner as they grow out. And there's a little trick here where I'm trying to magically make it seem believable that this girl could be hanging from this crazy cherry blossom branch that is off here. You have no idea how close I came to adding Mount Fuji. But I did this for my daughter Luna.
Yep.
This was for Luna. Luna was feeling like everybody else was getting paintings and that she wasn't getting any paintings. And she wanted a painting that was about her. So this is about my daughter, Luna Bella.
Ah, she loves that.
She does. And this just captures her spirit so completely. This is who she is. Well, I think this is all little girls. This is all of our inner little girl. But she is this unabandoned, swing over the precipice of a dream child.
Ah.
Now I'm going to make a second little branch.
Luna's going to love that.
Right, coming down here. And it's going to swing down. And then it's going to bend. And then I'm going to actually take this in front of the moon. Ooh, crazy.
That's so much drama on my moon.
So much drama.
You dramaed my moon.
Drama. I just love saying it. Drama. Now, there's a lot of ways to paint a branch. I've seen them where they're like really crickety. And some of them are very flowy. Right? And what you just want to do is just have them getting ever thinner as they're going. Right? Now, I might in here show you guys how I would fix a mistake, because I think that's the number one worry they'll have to answer that somebody might have about doing a painting like this. Is what do I do if I make a mistake? So I might intentionally, even though I love this painting so much, make a little mistake and show you how I'd fix it.
Yes.
Would that be cool?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to paint down here. Right? Oh, here's a branch I was thinking about putting, but later I'm going to decide that I don't like it.
Can you do a close-up on that one?
Yeah. It's just a branch that I have to let it dry. So I put this branch here, and this is my mistake.
That's your mistake, branch.
This is a branch that I painted that I did not want.
Oh, look. Hey, Ian.
Hi, Ian. How are you doing today? And just real quick, I want to show you how I'd fix a mistake. And we'll make a little mini vid about this, because I think this happens to everybody. I'm going to dry this.
Oh, great. Dry.
And what I'm going to do first, because this is black paint and the paints I have to repair it with are fairly see-through, the first thing that I'm going to do is come here and paint it out a little bit with white.
You have to pull your mic up there just a touch. You just knocked it down somehow.
I'm going to paint, who knows, I'm going to paint it out a little bit with white.
Okay.
First. See how I've painted that back?
Yes.
If I tried to fix it just dry with these colors without doing this, I would never really get it covered.
Okay.
Because remember here, the paint was showing through?
Yeah.
That's why. So I'm going to dry this again.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And then I'm going to get a little of my quinacridone and a little of my ultramarine blue.
Oops.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Make sure that, my brush isn't too dry. And I'm going to come here and just paint it out. See it vanish? Paint it out.
I do.
Blend this into the space around. And I might have to do a couple coats to cover the white, but I was never going to get the black covered, so just good to know. I'm painting it out. I'm painting it out. Painting it out. Painting it out. Look at that go. Just painting it out. And that's what I would do. If for any reason stuff has gotten away from me and I can't get rid of it, that's what I'm going to do. Just paint it out. Now, if you had a color book and you were writing down your formulas for each little section, you would actually have the correct formula for exactly matching. You'd be like, oh, I knew I did this quinacridone dominant. Right? She'd be like, oh, I'm quinacridone dominant over here with a tint or tone of white. Okay.
Crazy.
See?
All gone.
All gone. So I know that's some extra deviation and stuff, but I think that's the thing that stops people from going ahead and going for the silhouette is they're like, what if I make a mistake? You erase it. Unlike your life, you just erase it. It just goes away. Isn't that lovely?
That is. Well, gosh, that was I know you had a lot of concentration there.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. So there are a couple questions here. Michelle was asking, while the black was wet, couldn't you have just wiped that off?
Okay. So that is one of my mom's tricks, and that works really well if your paint is cure dried. All right. So if the painting has dried overnight, and then you go to paint on it, and you do something wrong, you can actually just spray that with a water bottle and wipe it off with a rag.
Yeah.
But if you painted it within, say, the last 30, 40 minutes, it's actually not cured, and it will lift back up on you and create crazy mess. So it's about, has the paint cured and finished, or is it still in process? Because even though these aren't oils and they dry, this dry is not tomorrow's dry. Mm-hmm. All dries are not created equal by any means. Does that make sense?
It totally does. So, and you'll have.
I have another one of these little half-inch brights.
And if you could give a quick shout out to Pete and his brother, they came out to say hello and wanted to say.
Pete and your brother. I can't remember your brother's name, Pete.
It's his online name is, let's see here.
They're the pandas.
Yeah, his is anonymous something. I saw.
Is it anonymous panda? Because that would just
anonymous
too
panda.
funny. I am anonymous panda.
No, I think he's.
Pete's in the CAC, and I think he's done a color of the year video as well.
Anonymous covers.
Anonymous covers. That's fun.
I think that he's got an art channel as well, so we'll have to.
Okay.
We'll check that out a little bit later too.
So I'm just working at my little branches here, having a little bit of fun. Right. So I've got these main sort of structures built, and once I built the structures, then I can kind of come over and switch into my detail brush, and I can just pull the load. Can you guys see the load on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can just pull the load, and then we can all giggle. I'm going to start pulling off some little wandering branches.
Oh, so Pete says it's his brother sings.
He sings.
That's right. I saw that. I saw some of that earlier. So, adjust your close-up camera so we can see all those little twiggly bits.
I want you to see my twiggly bits.
There they are.
Right? So I'm resting. My painting is dry. This only works if your painting is dry. I'm resting my hand. And I'm pulling out some little twiggly bits. I love pulling my twigglies. This is the Zen doodling of my painting. I'm into it. Happiness, here's the key to happiness in art. And actually probably life. Is forgive your mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And be optimistic about your potential.
That's absolutely true.
You do those two things, life and art get much easier.
And, we have 273 people painting along with us today. Isn't that just wonderful?
I love that you are. I'm so glad to be sharing this painting with you. The colors of the year are actually based in hope and peace.
That's so awesome.
Pantone noticed this complete shift, and this is totally true, in the world towards resolution and wanting mentality and feeling of well-being and peace. And I think that's amazing. They send these people out. They literally walk the globe.
Yeah.
All these interesting places and come back and report the collective consciousness of color trends. That's what they do.
Which is so crazy.
That's like a job you could have. What do you do? Well, I got to go to Bangladesh this year and check out what the textiles are looking like, what colors everybody's using. What is everyone buying? What is everyone wearing?
Color big data.
Color big data. And then if you're a designer like, say, Lagerfeld, you pay a lot of money to get the Pantone predictions early.
That's true. Those are an expensive set of predictions.
Those are an expense. Well, because you've sent people to Bangladesh to look at fabric. And I mean, they literally are in every port of call, just traveling the world. Like when you see their explanation of what they do, they seem so much less silly.
Oh, yeah.
They're either really evil or really good, and I can never decide.
Yep. Azure Mouse would totally have that job. Azure Muse. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was Blue Mouse, but no, it's just the Blue Muse says that she would love that job for sure.
Yeah, it's a special thing. So see how I'm pulling these little twiggly bits here? Twinkle, twinkle, twiggles.
Twiggles.
Twiggles are so fun to do. Okay, I'm gonna come down and twiggle this up too. Now, I like to cross my branches and make all kinds of deviations, so I'm definitely going to take a little branch here.
So much drama.
Yeah, well, cherry blossoms actually do have quite a lot, as do apple trees.
Yes, it's true.
So we're just being true to the structure.
I wonder if pear trees have the same thing.
I might not paint pears, but do you remember that pear tree I had for my art agent? Do you remember that? Where I did all those pear topiaries.
Oh,
and I had to do so many of them because whenever you have an art agent, they don't want one, they want 25.
I'll go dig some of that stuff up. I've still got it.
I just feel like I could revisit that now.
I pull it all out and just we could decorate some site areas with it.
Little pear trees. I think we lost all those in the fire, sweetie, to be honest.
I have digital backup.
Oh, yeah.
So you're using that black out of the bottle.
Right out of the bottle. No water.
No water.
Don't need it. And see what a nice fluidity it's giving me? Isn't it just behaving beautifully for me?
This is just a really, really easy beginner painting.
Yeah. This is really easy to do. It's really good. The number one thing that you might struggle with as a new painter on this is going long with your branches. You've got to kind of mentally and emotionally do sort of an internal yoga move where you go long.
And you could practice some branches on paper before this.
I highly recommend practicing all your brush strokes on paper before committing them to canvas until you're highly confident in what you're doing.
Yeah.
But once you know you can practice and once you know you can erase, there's just no reason not to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Belief, optimistic about your potential, and forgiving of your mistakes.
Now, everyone seems to think, this is a real beginner until we get to the girl, but it's just another shape that you're gonna just a series of shapes you're gonna block in.
And the thing is like, even if you're not ready today to draw this girl, right?
Yeah.
Trace girl. Trace her right on here.
Yeah.
Just take the traceable, blow it up bigger. You don't need all of the swing or all of the traceable. You just need her. I mean, you can attach 2 lines to her. and trace her on here. And then once you have her, you can connect her up and you've got her.
Yeah.
You could also just stick a cat on the swing.
It's true.
Or just the swing on the swing.
Now, if you have regular body...
Or you could put a boy on the swing. I just picked a girl because it was Luna Bella.
It's true.
And that's what she wanted. But it could be a boy on the swing.
Now, there's a quick question here. Is if you don't have that soft body black and you just have regular old
You can
black,
thin your black with water.
and it'll be okay.
And you can still do this.
Gotcha.
Everything is still doable in acrylic paint. It's like you could use Flow Aid or you could just use that free stuff from your tap. And I'm not saying Flow Aid isn't better, because it is.
Oh, Lisa had a great idea. For Christmas this year. I know what our Christmas painting this year will be.
What is it?
It'll be a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh, it will be a partridge in a pear tree. Thank you, Lisa.
Isn't that awesome?
Partridge in a pear tree.
Flame Gremlin to the rescue.
She cracks me up. Does she crack you up?
Yeah. She always gets our jokes. I can just count on the fact that if I make some obscure gamer reference, that the one person will get it will be her. So
Yeah, I could have my secret channel, how to paint miniatures.
it's I think that actually would be kind of fun. We could,
because all these techniques work on miniatures and just make you like the most amazing person at the gaming table.
now I have to say, if you guys can imagine what our cast of miniatures looked like with Cinnamon painting them. So when an elf got a coat, it was a real elf coat. And if you don't know what that is, Google it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely was the one who was like, I used all my pro paints and I had all these soft bodies and I was like dry brushing and doing it. My friend Kevin was like, what's this thing you're doing? I'm like, it's dry brushing. He's like, I love it. It makes all the scales come out. I'm like, mm-hmm.
And washes.
Oh, we were doing washes. Just lots of fun stuff. Because that's the thing you want. You may not know this if you have not lived deep in Dorkington.
Yes.
But I have been a long time resident of Dorkington. See, I'm just pulling that nice little branch in front of the moon there. These little branches in front of the moon are a very important part of the story.
Yeah.
I'm going to refine this branch. I feel like it ends a little stubbly.
You'll have to adjust your close-up camera.
Okay, yeah, let me do that.
So now
Isn't that lovely? Isn't that just
so
breathtaking?
nice,
It just
yeah.
makes me so happy. By the time I put cherry blossoms in, I'm like, woohoo! Sorry.
No, I really like this
sometimes
one.
art just makes me really just thrilled.
Yeah, I think that we peaked up there to we had I think we had 280 people in here just a minute ago.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just so enamored by that. I love the fact that we have so many people joining us. It just I thank you guys for coming out, and please post pictures of all of this stuff. I know you can do it. You can do it. So when you do it,
Share it.
Show us the pictures.
We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. And when I say we, you think I mean me and John, but what I mean is everybody you're hanging out with right now is all those places. And so your friends are there to say, good job.
Yeah, there's 280 people out there. They're also painting and posting stuff up. So you can go see what they're doing and talk with them.
And what you're going to learn is that there's a lot of beautiful ways to complete a painting.
Yeah.
I'm just sharing my little journey through this painting, but you're going to find your own little journey.
Mm-hmm.
Just love doing this. I love my twiggles, John.
So
I love my twiggles.
And the only way to get good at drawing branches
Is to draw branches.
is to draw branches, yeah. So just...
Only way to get good at painting is paint.
And Mona's in there like, oh my gosh, no more branches. It's like, yeah, just drag your brush across
Mona
the
is
canvas.
amazing. She can
You can
handle
do it.
branches.
Yeah.
You can handle them, Mona. I know you can. I've seen your art. Just putting little places for cherry blossoms to live right now. That's what I like to do. Put little places for cherry blossoms to live.
So if you're going to do this for a boy's room, do you think you'd change the colors?
I don't know. You're a boy and you really liked it.
Yeah. So what I would say is that I don't know that I would necessarily change the colors for me. I might add some star flecks before you put the branch in.
Yeah, I think if you did the star flecking, and so it was like, looked like a nebula or something, and then made sure that on the swing, unless you have a teenage boy, you could probably leave this girl on the swing of his teenage boy. But if you have a young boy, my son would want to see like a young boy on a swing. There are silhouettes on Google. If you Google it, if you Google boy silhouette on a swing, you're going to find boys on swings that are obviously boys. Put it on there, trace it, and then you can customize it. Cat on swing, owl on swing.
You can always add like a rocket in the silhouette against the moon, little tiny things like that. If you're wanting to add something for boys.
Dragon.
Yeah.
Not to explode flame gremlin's mind.
We did a dragon in the last one.
Yeah, not this one though.
No.
This one, this is what it is, and I like to do the birds.
Yeah, the birds were awesome, and you were thinking about a cat, but the cat was just too much.
I was thinking initially I was going to put a little hill coming down here with the cat looking at the girl.
Yeah.
But I felt sometimes artists are so afraid of negative space. That's where you don't put stuff, that they overcrowd it. They get a little gaudy, right? And they overcrowd and they do their little thing. All right, so I'm going to show you something.
What's that?
I'm going to show you my bird silhouettes. So I go online and I'm like, to my graphic stock, and I said bird silhouettes, and I can print out.
Oh, yes.
Nice big pictures of birds that I might like to put on my painting. Because you cannot, if you're not highly familiar with it, if you don't have a huge amount of mental data, you can't paint it. And so you've got to be looking at it. You can paint a lot of stuff you're looking at, but sometimes it can be really hard if you're not looking at it to remember what it is. Right? Which is why I'm always like, print out the picture. So I print these out, right? So I could do my two little birds that were friends that are here kind of looking at each other like they are. And so that was my little thing to do. And I'm going to do that right now, because I have my little bird. And you can see I had these little birds here in the original. See little birds with their friends flying off. That was symbolic. You have a language in paintings that you can share things. And that language lets you tell all kinds of very important stories about where you're at and how you're feeling. Going to improve his branch since he's going to land here. It's going to be a branch that would attract him, and I'm going to put his little body in. Am I on the moon?
There you go.
So I'm going to put his little body in. Just put a little body in. It's kind of a little bean shape. One of my very favorite artists on Periscope is James George. John's heard me talk about him a lot. And he does bean figures to explain gesture drawing, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking of that when I'm dropping a bean now. I go, it's like a James George bean. I'm going to give him a little wing here. And then pull in a little beak. And then he's going to have a little tail coming off here. Little bird just happily sitting in front of the moon. Now his little friend, and I got to get the picture because this is I'm not as familiar with the tip down bird, right, is looking down at him, and I found this nice little bird.
Oh, that is cute.
Yeah.
So there's bird talk out here right now.
What does everyone have to say about birds?
They think that there should be some wings on the girl.
Then you should very much put some wings on the girl today, because today I'm painting her in.
But it wasn't a bad idea.
No, it's really not. And you could probably put angel on a swing in your Google and find a really good one.
Yeah, you could probably turn this into a fairy or an
this
angel.
one, her, I did not Google her. I just created her. She's just my baby right there. She's my little girl. She's the spirit of my little girl.
And it was really funny because when I was looking for stock footage for you, I was able to find some. Some footage of a girl on a swing, a statue of that.
Yes, that was crazy.
That was really
right?
awesome. Yeah. And so it's I think that's a popular idea.
It is. I'm just putting a little ball at the end of my little bird body here. And I'm going to take this little tail up See that little tail's up and the little beak is down.
Yeah.
He's got some wing coming off here for balance, and then some little legs that are there. Look at that. The little birds are talking to each other.
There's that one bird is talking a lot more than the other one, though.
Yeah, the other one's kind of tuning out the first bird. Who could those be? No, just kidding.
I see.
That's actually not even at all. John and I do really well.
Is that a mama bird and a teenage bird?
It could be. So I really had like this bird right here. This one. This one.
That bird. You put that bird on there?
So I'm going to put him flying.
Somewhere
I think
over there.
maybe like right here. I kind of ran out of room over here because I got a little happy with my branch. Still needs some balancing branches coming off. Sometimes you'll notice that you'll be like, you need some balance, branch. You're unbalanced. So I'm going to paint that little shape here. I'm going to put that little body right there. I love doing that.
Wow, I have to say the chat's pretty active today. It's almost hard for me to be able to keep up with it. So it's
yeah, and then with me painting, I'm just messing your ability to read the chat.
Oh man, no, it's almost impossible. I just glance over and I can see, I can see a block of text at a time. It's just crazy.
So when I have that little bird in,
You have to adjust your close-up camera down a little for me.
okay, when I have that little bird in,
Oh, there he is.
there he is. Then I'm going to have some friends that are off in the distance. Right? They're going to be off in the distance, flying in. And we're all familiar with the V's. Right? The faraway birds who might come visit.
Now, which brush are you using there on that? Can you show?
I'm using a number 4 round by Creative Mark, but what this is a fine detail point.
Can you hold it up to your canvas there next to where those little birds are so I can see it in the close-up camera?
In the close-up camera? Yeah.
Yeah. See, there it is over there. There. Yeah. So everyone
See
can
how fine of a detail point that is? That's how I'm getting through this.
Gotcha. That helps a lot.
Yeah. And it really does. Now I'm going to see if I need a bigger one. I might get a bigger one, but we're going to see how this one does, or if I need to switch to a small bright. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do the 5 dab cherry blossom, which means I'm going to put out some liquid white. You could just thin some white.
So you'll have to show this brush again. And this is going to be a round bright, or what is this?
I'm going to probably use this detail round I've been using on the
Detail round.
branches. But if it doesn't give me what did I do? Look at this. Look what I just did. What is that?
You got paint on there.
I really did, man. I didn't
got
get like
paint.
a small amount of paint. Like I had a whole like, hey, let's see. I got this nice manicure to
Oh,
match the
yeah.
painting,
Here, you do-
and then
you
I
have, like-
went and ruined my manicure to match the painting.
See if you show it in the
Up close cam.
palette cam, then I can see him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Seem pretty.
There's our pretty.
All right. I was showing this poor girl my picture. I'm like, match this, and she's just looking at me like I've lost my mind. She's like, I can't do all that on your nail. So I'm gonna put a little dab. You see this? A little bit of
Little
yellow,
Tiny, yep.
right?
Yep.
And then I'm gonna dip
Oh wow. That's a lot.
into my white. And I want all these to dry, so I'm gonna come up here and start putting blossoms.
Blossoms in.
Right? So to do the blossoms, I'm going to go dot, 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 dot. I'm going to switch between 4 dots and 5 dots. This one I'll do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I'll do 4, sometimes 5. Just the dots. See the dots? Dot, 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 dot. Sometimes 4 dots. The yellow will sometimes come out. Can you guys see these? Can I see these?
Oh yeah.
This is exactly, if you're a manicurist, you're like, I have this.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
this is your manicurist cherry blossom. Right? Cherry blossoms are basically 5 dots, but sometimes you'll see just 3 petals. Like I could do a 3 petal right here.
Eric loves doing these dots.
Who does?
Eric.
Yeah, it's just super relaxing. I got too much black on my brush. I gotta rinse it out.
Now,
kind of
are you
pulling into
using
my
just white for the flowers, or are you mixing a little bit of yellow in there?
So what I do is remember we dip in here.
Show us just how much you have on that.
Look at this tip.
All right, you can barely see that. Bring it up to the other close-up camera. Up, 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 up. There you go. Bring it. There you go. Cool.
And then I dab into this, and it'll look like this.
Closer to you a little bit. So you just covered the yellow. Spin the brush.
Yeah, I just covered the yellow with the white, and then as I'm dabbing, a little bit of it will dispense. You can do this with pink too.
Gotcha.
You can do this with pink too. I try to leave a dark spot. You know, see how the yellow gets in there real easily?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to redip in yellow for a little while.
Now, Chris is saying that I think she's legally blonde, not so perfect. So tiny stuff's a little difficult. So you could skip the
yeah, I mean, you don't need it. The branch is real pretty. It could just be, I like cherry blossoms. Angela and I were like, let's do cherry blossoms. Now we're doing cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Literally, it is the capricious whim of 2 creatives on YouTube who thought it'd be fun to teach cherry blossoms. Don't even be kidding yourselves. It's just that Angela and I bet a whole bunch of other CAC people are feeling the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And painting cherry blossoms is one of those fun things. Like, and it's just dabs. Are you guys seeing the dabs okay on the up close? It's just dabs.
Yep.
It's beautiful from a distance. And they're just dabs up close. Little things you can do. You can also put little petals that go off.
I know Susie will
See
like
those?
this too.
Little petals that are blowing off in the wind because cherry blossoms blow off in the wind. Some of them can be smaller. Right? And some of them can be bigger. Right? You can do, if you have one of those tools, I know Angela has one, I know Leanne uses one, I'm sure Lindsay's got one, that's a little ball at the tip. You could switch to one of those, and I'm going to check on my brush. I'm going to take an experiment. I'm going to do a risk for you guys. I might be able to do it with this side of my brush. Do you see that, John?
Where'd you go? Okay.
I'm going to do it with, I'm going to try to do it with this.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's a really cool way
So
of
now
doing it.
there's a tool that does this, but you could also go
Hold on.
dab.
Get close up.
It's not there?
Nope.
Okay.
There
Dab.
Your little dab tool there.
Yeah. Dab, dab, dab.
Perfect.
And you could dab it with the other side too if you're like, the brush is just giving me too much grief. See, cherry blossoms there too.
Yep.
It works both directions. I like the slightly elongated, irregular shape of my blossom, but really the point is the patterning.
Yeah.
And so it's not that important. It's just the fun of putting them down and getting to paint them. And it is fun to get to paint them. Super fun to get to paint them. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger.
You're just kind of generally loading up a little bit of paint on there.
Yeah, just with that little dab of yellow in there because I like the tone.
Yeah.
That can happen. Here, getting down on this branch so you can see me working my blossoms.
All right. Show us your load, your paint load on that. Okay, cool.
So it's literally dipped in and coated. Like candy coating it. See, little tiny, little bit. Maybe even have some petals coming here. See those? Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
When the petals go flying. I love when the petals go flying.
I think that's really awesome too.
I love that.
I like when you do the little the patterns. Sometimes you do the little patterns, the swirly patterns and things.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you can. I got a lot going on here, so I'm not going to swirl it.
Yeah. No, I totally.
Because there's a lot, but that's the thing that you can do. If you weren't going to have her, you could make a swirl of patterns right there.
Yeah, and sometimes you do the petals in silhouette or the leaves in silhouette too.
Mm-hmm. You could do
that.
leaves. So this tree could have some attached leaves.
But these flowers are so easy that this
They're
really is
so easy, and this is just the easiest little cherry blossom that you could ever hope to paint.
And so there's just nothing here that a beginner can't do.
No, this is 4 dots. You can handle this. You can handle your 4 dots.
Yeah.
5 dots. It's
Or
4
5
to
dots.
5 dots. Sometimes 3. Look, I did a 3 dot.
And if you ended up with a 6-petaled flower,
Nobody's
going
to turn you into the cherry blossom police.
No one. It just has an extra petal waiting to blow into the wind.
That's right. And there's always something in nature that just won't play ball. See, just breaking those up. Isn't that fun?
That's looking great.
How easy of a cherry blossom tree is this? You could mural this on your wall, by the way. This doesn't have to stay small and on your canvas.
No.
You could do this whole painting technique big. If you bring a swatch in, or the recipe, if you go to Pantone's website and do colors of the year, you can get the CMYK, the RGB, and the hex codes of your colors.
Mm-hmm.
You can print those out and take those to your Home Depot, and they'll mix them for you there. And then you could do this wall with some white.
Huh.
Andrea Mercer made a CAC video on how to mix at home and go to the Home Depot about how to do all that. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
She's your color of the year savior. I so appreciate everyone who participated in the CAC event.
Oh, yeah.
And it's such a good thing for us to do as creatives because, you know, we're so impacted by things like color of the year.
You've almost got all your flowers in now.
I do. I get to draw her in a second.
Wow,
You guys get to trace her. I got to draw her.
That's so fast.
I get the stress at drawing her.
The stress.
Nah, it's actually not that bad. But I do have to think about it when I do it. I got to think about her when I draw her. Now I'm going to put some petals that are just flying off. There we go. They've caught some wind and they're flying away. And hopefully you're going to be able to see her. I'm going to draw her in with my black watercolor pencil.
All right.
I might need to zoom out. That's the wrong way. A little bit. So you can see her come in. So basically what I do is I imagine that there's a swing. I make a little mark. There's my swing. And I know I'm going to want her about this space. So I'm going to make a little upward line. Alright. And then I can very nicely curve. The nice thing about the watercolor pencil is I can erase it with a slightly damp towel if I'm unhappy with what I did.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, at this stage I'm freehanding her in, so that's nice for me. But like I said, tracing is loud. And I'm going to get her where I can really, really see her.
So Mary just had a really nice suggestion for us.
I would love to hear Mary's really nice suggestion.
She was enjoying your painting of the tutu.
Yes.
And some of the other dresses, and was asking if you might consider doing a kimono in that style.
I would love to do a kimono.
Wouldn't that
Actually,
be fun?
that's really good. A kimono's happening. I really like that idea.
Do you remember that painting you did that was in the of the girl in the kimono?
Yes.
I'll have to find a picture of that. I know I still have it.
She's really beautiful.
It was really a good painting.
I'm putting almost a silver dollar size little circle here. This is her head. Her hair, have you ever done this when you're in the swing and you just let it carry you back and your hair falls forward and you just go with the motion of it? That's what she's doing right now. Now I'm going to drop a circle for her shoulder. Right? Circle for her shoulder. And her little arm comes here now. and we'd bend back. We're going to see a little bit right there triangularly of that. And then there's another little elbow here. Then we're going to have a little bit of her sitting here.
So Kirsten was asking if this is really live.
Is this really live?
So you have to wave.
Hi, Kirsten. This is totally really live. Or I'm super psychic.
Well, your grandma, you know.
Yeah, my grandma was a real famous psychic, so you never know, Kirsten.
Could be.
Could be, could be. So this is just me. I'm going to be working out her little shape because, you know, I want her to feel like, you know, she's right there. This may cause me to bring this rope in a little bit. And these are just little things that I'm thinking about, you know. Her little skirt. I know I want her little skirt to happen. Got little things there. Now, the legs I really enjoyed doing. Is what I really, really loved. I love doing these little legs. So hopefully you're going to be able to see me drawing her little legs. And again, you know, hey, if drawing is not your forte, tracing is totally allowed. And what's wonderful about this is because I'm painting in black, I get to do a lot of sketching and thinking on this. All right, so I know I want her little knee here. And I want this to be here. And I want a point down of her foot. And if you did the ballet with me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, what I like on a foot, little thought on the foot, if you're real close, is the heel is a bigger ball, and the heel is a bigger ball, and the ball of the foot is a smaller ball. Curve and arch, curve this here, little toes. Ankle should be slight, and then don't forget that there's a calf. Look at that.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if this is where this knee is, whether she's stylized or not, her other knee has to be on the same joint. She doesn't have two different length legs. So I just have to make sure that the length from here to here on her and from here to here is the same, and that the knee joint is in the same place. But again, don't let this be a drawing, you know, thing. This is a painting thing, and that's why we always have a traceable.
So you may have to. I think we can see it just barely. So you'll have to pull the close.
Well, when I paint her in, you're gonna really, really see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Look, I got the nice little calf here.
You could maybe
see. I did the circle. I mentally did those circles. At this point, I mentally make sure that I've got the bigger circle, smaller circle. Something I like to do is I like to tip off a couple toes.
Oh, yeah.
I like to click off a couple toes because we know that she'd have them. And I'm going to give myself at least one line to say the hair is, you know, coming off. Look, I can just erase that with my finger. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Just to give myself some thoughts. Not too much because it won't let me have some freedom. All right, so I've got it attached. I've got her in. She's flying through the air. She's going to have some little strings here that come down. And now I get to paint her in, which is pretty exciting. I'm going to paint her far side first because I really need a bridge to keep my hand steady. So I'm going to come far side first. And I'm going to use my wrist to rest on the canvas and a very light pressure to bring her little rope down to her. See, there's her little rope that's tied to the tree. And that's how I get a pretty fine line, is fluid paint. Okay. Doesn't matter that I've drawn into where I'm drawing her because that's all going to be solid black. Right? Now up here, one of the things that I really wanted to do was I've been really loving the bohemian thing lately, and so I wanted to have ribbons. And so I painted. Can you guys see that? Can we see that, or do I need to be up on the up-close camera? I think I need to be up. So the ribbons are tied here, and they just flow out. You love her little ribbons?
Mm-hmm.
Those fun? And then some of her I'm going to do with my little thin brush here. And then I'm going to come back, right, with my bright and paint her in.
You have to adjust your close-up camera there.
Do I?
Yeah.
So you can kind of see her coming in, but this is how I get her laid in. I don't try to do her all with an all small brush or an all big brush. I just very carefully paint in her outline. And I'm going to come back with the bright and then come back with the thin when I'm done to do her hair.
Gotcha.
Right? So this is how these are like force field boundaries or something that you might be thinking of. And I'm just worried about the outline. Because where the lines touch or overlap, I would not see them anyways on a silhouette. Just where...
You're just going off the camera there. Just off the screen.
No, I want to show you guys. So
there you go.
So I'm here. Oh, this is a better thing for
That's
her.
much better.
So for a minute, she's going to look like a little jacked up. And then when you paint her in, you'll see that she kind of works.
Now, you're working with not figure, but what's the line that you call it when you're implying motion in a figure and action?
You mean gesture?
Gesture. That's the word.
Yeah, there's a lot of gesture in this piece. When I initially sketched this in, I made like this little C curve and I based my figure. That's how I got that motion.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens to us when we're drawing, you remember with me when I was like in my Hogarth dynamic drawing phase. What happens is that we tend to make static drawings that are somehow cousins to the Egyptian tombs. They're like 3/4 or they're flat to the picture pane, and we don't have these fluid movements. So if you can make a decision in your space that this whole thing is going to curve this way, and you create a sketch curve and then build your figure around it, your figure will have much more energy in it when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But we're beginning drawing, so that doesn't really matter. But if you were really close to really having a breakthrough, that would be something that would be wonderful for you to practice, is gesture drawing.
And gesture is how you can imply all that motion and activity in a still image.
In a still image, because it's just still. So how do you tell that story?
And that's really cool. I really like all the stuff you talked about with gesture.
Gesture is key.
And
someone can be much better at rendering a figure if they don't have their gesture down. You'll just own them in the show.
Now this could feel a little scary here, but really this is really simple tracing. Once you get down the shape of the outline.
This is coloring.
Coloring, yeah.
This is just coloring. You're making your own coloring book here. And again, that's why I'm like, look, we got a traceable. You don't have to work out freehanding this at all.
Yeah, this is totally.
Here's her little toes that I'm going to do with my little, because I want her little toes to be up and spread open. Little things like that are really important to the story. When you tell like the story that, oh, well, her toes are open, it tells you a lot about how she's feeling right now.
Yeah, that really does.
So now once I have her outline, I can get my bright out very easily with very little work. Paint in my figure, and then there'll just be a couple places that I'm very careful, which will be right here at the chest, because I've got to use her hair to tell the rest of this story. That fun?
That really is.
Now I realize I need to see this line here. There you go. Just to make that more believable, because there would be that line. So you've got her bent elbows. You can see where she's seated. There's going to be some strings down here as well where her seat is tied, but I want to get her painted in. If you're painting a student paint, you may find that painting black over a color is really challenging. It's not supposed to be, but it might be just because your paint. You may just need 2 coats. Don't panic. No, 90% of anything that's happening in your painting you don't like is just about materials and brushes. It's about either not understanding the limits of the tools or what you're asking the tools to do, but it's really not about your potential.
Oh man, so it's I'm gonna go check out here.
Not looking lovely?
Yeah.
Is she looking lovely? I check. One of the things is I can't back up from my canvas, so there's this thing called slippage where I'm not able to center or adjust my drawing from a distance because I'm in the process of teaching you guys. You guys should periodically back up from your artwork and take it in. You don't ever see me doing that, but that would be a thing that you would definitely do in your own painting studio all the time.
Mm. Let's see here.
And if this is not your favorite silhouette, there could not be more silhouettes online. Literally, there could not be more. Everything has already been silhouetted. She is mine. I created her. But, I mean, every kind of swing scenario has been painted.
Sorry. So everyone was just commenting. I was a little muffled there. I had stepped away to make sure that all of our internet connections and things were going okay.
Oh, are they okay?
They seem to be. So there were some people that were saying they had a little internet connection trouble, but I think that it must be localized because the server says that we're maintaining a good connection. So
all right. So that's what our server says.
we're hoping. Oh.
Server says. It's a little bit like survey says. I can't help it.
Yeah, I'll. So if you're you may just need to have some people refresh.
And I'm going to have a little trouble at her foot, so I'm going to switch back to my small brush. Wherever you feel like you're going to have some trouble, you just go back and you switch back to the brush that gives you the most control. And I don't care if you're at a demo and somebody's got one brush and you're just not able to get control of that brush, switch out to your control brush.
Yeah.
These are just tools. Just tools. You got little toes there.
Yeah, those toes just add so much, implied
energy to the piece. I love the little toes. I love the toes.
You get to pull your mic up.
I do. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know how I keep doing that.
No, I don't know. You're fine.
So we're going to say that there's a little knot here and maybe a little knot here. And a couple little ropes happening here.
Oh, yeah. That makes...
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
That's just a nice little touch, isn't it? Now hair. So, I'm going to come up and maybe drop a little tendril of hair. Hair tends to be a hot mess in the wind, so you've got to really sort of embrace that. Look at that. It's what we're doing.
It's what you're doing.
It's what we're doing. And I'm running a little thin, so I'm going to put some more paint out. We're nearly done, guys.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. Jane was asking a question earlier about.
I'm happy to answer any question for Jane.
So I think it's a color mixing question.
Okay.
So when she was working on her color mixing, she had done a blue and a yellow, and was wondering whether or not she needed to put the greens on that or do a separate mixing board for green, or.
In her chart or in her formulas?
On her chart, I think.
On her chart, if you're running out of room, you can go do a separate chart. If you have room, work them out because you want to see how they are in relationship to each other's. Even if you have a yellow and a blue and you've made green, that's not going to be like sap green. It's you're not going to have sap green, and sap green is going to mix with everything differently. So if you happen to have a green, like a hooker's green, a sap green, a deep green, a phthalo green, go ahead and mix it because believe it or not, cad yellow and phthalo blue will make a different color than the phthalo green. Anyways, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to come here and tell a little story of... Oh, got to watch my dryness
You
there.
need a bridge.
I need a bridge, I do. maybe a little hair is flying away there, and then this little hair is flying away. What is happening with my... Hi, stunt hands. How you doing today? So I'm going to get back in here and fill out not too far. So this is something, takes less is more here, but I want just a little more solid because I don't want to have to do it with my tiny brush. But I'm not going to go past this point, right? The rest of it I'm going to have to build with my little brush.
So here's the proper question from Jane now that we've come up here.
Okay.
So she was like, no, no, no.
I'm not saying any of that.
No. Of course I got the question wrong. I was trying to pull from memory. But I suspected it would pop back up here. It says, I want greens on the chart. Do I just use blues and yellows, or does she add green?
Well, it goes back to what I originally said, which is definitely do your blues and yellows because you want to know what all those mix. And then if you purchased a tube of green and you have it there, you want to know what it does with everything. Because pure pigments from the factory are going to be a little different than the pigments that you mix, even if it should be the same. Because you're not a chemist. You're not grinding it in a clean lab.
So I asked the wrong question, and we kind of got the right answer.
But we got kind of the right answer. So yes, please do both. If you've already bought it. If you haven't bought it, just do what you have.
No.
Like if you don't have any green and you have phthalo blue and cad yellow, then work that all out. And then you could even mix that green through your chart. But it's going to kind of start to tell you how things are working. If you purchased a green, definitely work it through the chart.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then in your formulas, experiment with what your cad yellow and cad blue do with, like, say, cad red.
Now, again, this painting is really easy for anyone to do. So if we had to just freehand this in and paint this in, you could totally do it. We've got the traceables, and I actually have that available.
If you've never drawn before, I wouldn't say freehand it in. This part, freehand it.
Sure.
Bird, freehand it. Girl, trace.
Girl, trace. And
if it's been a long time since you've drawn and you're one of these people like, I can't draw a straight line.
Well, here, look up here. We're going to put this up here because there's the traceable.
There's the traceable. See how that's doable?
So that's totally doable. You can grab that. And Mary was just saying that she has some trouble with her hands because she her hands shake a little bit and she has trouble painting freehanded. So this would be a good one where you could trace it in there and then maybe use your hand like just what you're doing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you show that a little better?
What part are you asking me to show?
So you're bracing your hand.
So there's a thing I do called a bridge. Now you can buy a bridge. Lindsay made a stick with a sock at the end that's stuffed, which is basically your ability to do this. I'm resting my hand on this brush. Right. That's a bridge that you can have. There's this cool bar that you can buy that comes in front. But if your stuff is dry, you can just rest your hand on the canvas.
And then you just paint in there.
Sometimes the wrong thing is the right thing. This is wrong, resting your hand on a canvas.
And it's okay to, if you get...
It's okay to do. I don't want to go out and buy a bridge. Yeah. I don't want to make a bridge. Lindsay's got a great example of a bridge if you want to make a bridge. Don't want to make a bridge. But you could make a bridge. Bet some other people do too. But I just know this little spot's dry here, so I can rest my hand safely. If it were not dry, this would be a hot mess. It'd be dragging black all up and down my canvas.
Yeah. So, it's a...
So my little tips on hair are this. Make sure that some strands of hair are shorter. Don't line up your hair. Vary the lengths.
Oh, yeah.
Break it up. Have the wind pull some hair in different directions. Have thicker strands and locks of hair. Pull to your strong side, which means if you're stronger pulling a line down, tip a canvas like this.
Oh yeah, that makes it a little easier, huh?
It would be if you're stronger going right to left, paint it right to left. If you're stronger pulling a line down, some people are much stronger pulling a line towards themselves. See?
Nice.
So it really is about understanding your body, where your strengths are, and just playing to those. Hairs, like branches, can cross directions.
So it's okay to cross these streams.
Cross these streams. Definitely cross these streams. I'm just trying to fill in enough of, I want it to be believable that there's a solid head here, surrounded by a mop of hair that is caught in the wind as she's falling back to, I don't know where, maybe there's a hill over here I can't see.
Maybe.
With flowers all over it. You know, you've got to just find your head in there. Find your head. Don't lose it. Don't lose your head. Painting it in solid. Where it needs to be solid. See, she's starting to have her, you see her? Happening?
Do.
Isn't she
She's
beautiful?
coming together.
She's coming together. There she comes. Little short hairs, little long hairs. Fluid does help in this.
Yeah.
Fluid helps. Wouldn't bug you about the fluid unless I didn't find it to be super helpful. Look at that.
That's pretty cool.
Now she's flying through the air. Can you see your girl?
Yep.
Look at us go.
Just tilted back, having a good time. That's
Is it
awesome.
not joy? Isn't this Hope Swings? This is Hope Swing, as what I feel like it is. Got my La La Loopsy hat on, which I'm wondering if my head got bigger because it's not all slipping today. I'm like, usually I'm like, where's my hat? I haven't had to adjust it like at all.
Is the Sherpa's head gotten big?
Yeah, I guess it did. Donuts.
I like. So I love that painting.
I love this painting. You could put a cat on this swing. You could have the swing just hanging down and have a girl just sitting statically there, looking straight out. What, did you just turn my mic on?
I did. I just turned. I turned up the.
I suddenly heard myself in stereo, and I was like, "Ooh, my ears are stuffed." But it's not. It's just Sean changed my sound.
I brought
Am
in
I
the
pitchy?
sound. No, I brought the sound in because we're just,
So I
It's
hope I'm
music.
going to see you guys tomorrow. I hope all these wishes on this canvas come true. I hope you love Rose Quartz and Serenity. It's, I think, the first time ever Pantone has ever done two colors in the history of ever.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
In the history of ever.
It's historic.
Ooh.
And I hope you love the Creative Arts collaboration. If you're a YouTuber
Yes.
and you've been just sitting here like, how can I have friends on the YouTube? And you make any type of art or craft.
Yes.
Visual art or craft. Yes, I do agree juggling is an art, and I do agree singing is an art, but we're talking visual art or craft. You can contact any of the admins. We have a YouTube channel. You can message me. There's a Facebook group, the Creative Arts Collaboration, and you're welcome to join. You just need one video. Be anywhere you are in your journey. We're about helping you have a better time making YouTube videos, so all these amazing people who show up and watch your videos can enjoy what you're doing. Go by Angela's
Yeah.
tomorrow at 1:30. Mom's live today, and she's obviously putting up a Creative Arts Collaboration hashtag too,
Yeah.
which is Color of the Year Art. So she did a sunset. It was pretty cool.
And I want to say thank you to the YouTube community for 280 people coming, over 280 people coming and joining us today. I was just like, I couldn't pay attention to just how many total came in, but it was so many. Thank you guys. Thank you. I really love having you out here in the comments and chatting with me. It's a lot of fun. It's,
Super fun.
all the shenanigans that we have going. I appreciate it. It
Paint
makes
your
it fun for me.
toes.
Share your pictures.
Share your pictures. I can't wait to see. Definitely want to hear your feedback on the painting. I hope you loved. I loved her. Is she one hoot? Two hoot? I was gonna.
She's a hoot and a half.
You think she's a hoot and a half? So I'm gonna say she's a hoot and a half. So she's probably gonna sit over in the one hoot section.
She's the one who did this. Anybody can do this.
I
It
think
really is.
anyone
Anybody
can do this.
This is a really achievable one.
And it's really achievable. I hope that, and you remember the traceables are also coloring pages.
Oh, yeah.
For anyone in your family who would just much rather color, you can print it out on any paper, and those are free.
Yeah.
There's a whole collection of them on that Pinterest board that are just for you guys to use.
Yep. We love you guys.
Love you, and I hope your whole week is full of swinging hope.
Yeah.
And remember, what's our thought? For happy painting and a happy life, forgive your mistakes and be optimistic about your potential.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great week. We'll see you at the easel really soon.
Yep.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye, guys. I'll push a button in a minute.
Are you?
Bye-bye.
It was like awkward.
Bye-bye.
It's so awkward. I'm just standing there, then my face goes